12 passionate months led in a day of fate. Day of fate. This is the day on which Satyavan is to die. It has been decreed high up in the transcendent that if things in this creation had to change, then Satyavan must die. But Satyavan must die in the lap of Savitri. This knowledge Savitri already has with her in the transcendent. She steps into this creation, into the moments of mortal time, and she is foretold that after her marriage with Satyavan, he is going to die in the forest where they met for the first time in the Shalva woods. Savitri is already aware of it when she stays with her husband in the forest. She is counting the number of days remaining still for that event to take place. But the year is almost coming to an end. 12 passionate months are leading themselves to the day of fate in order to meet doom in its physical form. Savitri has to make a sacrifice. Savitri has to make a sacrifice of her suffering, her anguish, the pain of the entire creation which she has gathered in her soul. It is that has to be sacrificed, put in this sacrifice in the altar, in the yajna. Her desire of changing things, even that also has to be offered to the fire, to the yajna. Sacrifice for the sake of the immortal ecstasy, that ecstasy would come here and remove all suffering and pain which is in this creation. It is towards that moment that the 12 passionate months are speeding up to change the fate of this creation, fate which was hanging on the soul of this creation since the beginning of this creation. In the forest where Savitri is living with her husband, amid the trivial sounds of the forest, that is the unchanging scene of her soul. In that unchanging scene of her soul, this death is going to occur. It is there that she has to meet fate and time and death, of course. What she sees is that the past, the entire burden of times past is now as if ready to be put into that mystic fire. She remains withdrawn. She sees the past approaching its end, dying. It lives imperishably in her. That past is living imperishably in her. It is that past which is there in her It is that she is putting out and putting in the fire, in the yajna, in the sacrifice. Her witness spirit has been reviewing the entire course of events, and now it sees, it knows that the moment has come when that past can be offered to the fire. All that she had hoped, all that she had dreamed until now, all that past has accumulated in it, her life's highways, small lanes, bypass, everything is appearing in front of her immediately. She is remembering her childhood days, the way she grew up in the palace of her father in Madras, and she is remembering the blue mountains and the trees and the rivers and the birds and the animals, the whole nature scene where she is staying, she remembers. That whole past is now getting condensed in her soul. The blue mountains of her youth, the paradise groves of her imagination, the peacock wings of love taking her to the heights of joy, all that she is gathering into her soul to put in this fire, in this mystic fire. They are all rushing to the silent shadow of doom. Her youth, her paradise grows, her wings of love, her joys, everything is rushing towards that paradise grove, towards that doom. 12 passionate months lead in a day of fate. This is the day when Satyavan must die. And on this day, Savitri is experiencing an absolute supernatural darkness enveloping her. When a crucial moment in the life of Savitri arrives, in the life of the incarnate power, the incarnate presence, the incarnate avatar, when that moment arrives, the absolute supernatural darkness envelops him, and all in that darkness, in that moment of darkness, all means of nature avail nothing. Nature is helpless to provide any support to such a soul at that point. But it is Savitri, the incarnate force here now, who must strengthen her will, gather her will, live in the brightness of her will in the soul, and cancel the body's destiny. It is by the power of her will that she can cancel the body's destiny. The fixity of cosmic laws must be dissolved by the power of her will. In the fire of her will, it must be burned. The great and dolorous moment was now close, and Savitri has to now accompany her husband to the forest, in the forest, where he goes for his routine work. It is in the forest that this remarkable death is going to take place. It is towards that the 12 passionate months are rushing. They are rushing towards that fated moment when Savitri will be meeting death face to face. She will be there to take the challenge of fate. Who has been obstructing the progress of this creation here by the denial of the divine in this existence? Savitri has to remove death, and it is told that the 12 passionate months are now reaching their close. 12 passionate months led in a day of faith.